10, 9,
T-minus 16,
8,
7, 6, 5, 4.
ignition.
Fire, fire.
From New Mexico to Texas to Florida, put 2021 down as the year the private space race came roaring off the pad.
To the next generation of dreamers, if we can do this, just imagine what you can do.
Billionaires Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk bringing commercial space travel one rocket ride closer for all of us back here on Earth. On his first trip, Bezos brought along 82-year-old Wally Funk, one of the original female Mercury astronauts who never flew. Then Captain Kirk himself, 90-year-old William Shatner, choked up with emotion after landing back on Earth.
What you have given me is the most profound experience I can imagine.
Godspeed Inspiration 4.
On September 15th, it was the 4 civilian astronauts on board a SpaceX rocket who made history on a 3-day orbit around the world.
We can see the entire perimeter of the Earth, which is so beautiful.
The trip, part of a fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Hospital, where crew member Haley Arsenault was treated for cancer as a child. But with prices starting at $250,000 per seat, space tourism is still way out of reach for most of us Earthlings.
It's important to you that this becomes accessible to everybody.
That's why we started it. I mean, I think ultimately the price will come down to a level where an awful lot of people will be able to do it.
But Bezos and Musk aren't content with joyrides around the Earth. Musk's SpaceX has won a NASA contract for its Starship to carry astronauts to the surface of the moon. That same system could eventually fly onto Mars. And Jeff Bezos planning to build a commercial space station called Orbital Reef, a sort of floating business park. While the commercial space race is hot and at full throttle, the U.S. is not alone. China is putting astronauts in space, already building its own space station, with plans to put humans on the moon as soon as 2030. And then there's Mars, the ultimate goal. This year, NASA pulled off yet another first. After landing a rover on the surface, it flew a helicopter, a drone really, over the Martian surface. Here's NASA's animation. And here's the actual chopper flight. So far from Earth, it had to fly itself, making 500 calculations per second.
We have done it. This is the first time I've been able to say we've done it.
It's a vast universe holding billions of galaxies and hundreds of billions of planets. So what are the chances that we're not alone, that life exists on at least one of those planets? The problem? We humans love sci-fi, and we tend to think of aliens as the characters we see on TV and in the movies.
E.T. phone home.
Our understanding of life doesn't mean that we understand all the options or all the possibilities of the various life forms that may be out there.
Absolutely true. Yes, just because we understand our own life doesn't mean that we know what to predict of how life might form in another different environment.
But have aliens already visited us?
There's a whole fleet of them.
What about the UFO sightings from credible sources like Navy pilots? Astrophysicist Adam Frank is a sympathetic skeptic.
Why do UFOs always look like exactly what we'd expect them to look like from all the movies we've watched, right? As I like to say, if it sounds like a science fiction story, it is.
Frank believes life probably does exist beyond Earth, but he hasn't seen compelling evidence that they've visited Earth yet.
If there is intelligent life out there, experts say it is probably many light years away. And each light year is at least a 37,000-year journey. So we're talking about 100,000 years to get there, or maybe even further. So you better pack an overnight bag. Tom Costello, NBC News in Washington.